Over 10,000 people have reached the summit of Mount Everest. Thousands have cycled around the world. But no one has ever cycled the length of Namibia's skeleton coast.
Well, this just has to be one of the most isolated and desolate places on Earth.
Explorer Kate Leeming is on a mission to be the first to complete the journey in an unbroken line.
And I can't wait to explore this remote corner of our planet.
Kate is no stranger to extreme expeditions. She has cycled across Siberia, the breadth of the African continent, and through the Arctic regions. Kate's route traces Namibia's entire Atlantic coastline. Starting from the Kunene River in the north, she will cycle through the Forbidden Lands, along windswept beaches, and over the high dunes of the Namib Sand Sea to reach her destination in the south, the Orange River.
This whole thing is a test of the mind. Quite incredible. There's bones everywhere. No wonder it's called the Skeleton Coast.
From remote and punishing terrain.
Skeleton Coast will take me too. I'm suddenly feeling a bit nervous.
A harsh and hampering climate.
Everything's just corroded away. Just turns iron to dust. The Skeleton Coast certainly takes no prisoners.
From facing some of the continent's deadliest wildlife.
Lion footprint.
To experiencing the raw majesty of the desert.
You're not that fit, you won't survive.
Life here is really not easy.
This ambitious 1,000-mile journey down the spine of the Skeleton Coast will push Kate beyond anything she has ever experienced before. So far, Kate has battled fierce conditions.
The wind is just way more severe today.
Experienced one of the continent's best-kept wildernesses, and come face to face with Namibia's desert-adapted lions.
My body, my legs especially, more and more tired. It's all about energy management. This whole thing is a test of the mind. I'm not a great mechanic. I can do the basics. So when something goes wrong, oh, okay, and then I have to think about it and slowly work it out. Just take my time. Okay, so what's happened is, just as I was stopped, just this like twang, 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 twang. Thomas has dismantled the brake. It was making a terrible sound, and so we've been looking inside and see the clamp that holds the brake pad in position is broken.
These things?
But it's quite amazing because that's only like a week and front brake's corroded. You can just see his brain ticking over. His brain works totally differently to mine.
This one is on the side. Exactly.
You know, I'll probably in the end get it, but it might take me a few hours. And he sort of worked it out in about 20 minutes. I'll be happy with that.
Nice, quite.
It's amazing. Give you a big handshake. There you go. Here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then shake. Okay, cool.
Kate is forced to keep on the road that follows close to the beach because the land is owned by a diamond mining company.
Bye-bye.
Leaving the mining area behind, Kate speeds over the hard-packed salt roads. She makes quick time on her way to Swakopmund, the halfway point of the expedition. Sandwiched between the Namib Desert and the ocean, Swakopmund's German architecture is a legacy of colonial times. Founded in 1892, its harbour served as Namibia's main port.
A bit like a holiday resort here. It's a bit surreal having come from where we started. No roads, nothing, wild, wild weather.
Before moving on, Kate ventures beyond the charm of Swakopmund's streets to explore the town's eastern fringe, an area few get to see.
We're taking a little diversion to go into what's called the DRC, which is kind of an informal settlement area.
20 years ago, Swakopmund saw an influx of people migrating to the city looking for work. Founded as a temporary solution for those waiting for subsidized housing, the DRC is now a slum, built mostly of garbage reclaimed from landfill sites.
Some of us doesn't have electricity. Some would stay for days without water. Some would stay for days without food. So it's quite difficult. Life here isn't easy. On my side, I've got 3 boys. One is called cancer. I don't work. I'm a single mom. But by his grace, I manage somehow.
It's only contract jobs you get here.
Yes, and probably not paying you very much.
Yeah, you get paid for 3 months or 1 year contract. So after 2 months, 3 months, what much you gonna gain? Your family, nothing. Yeah.
It's only for 3-4 months. After 3-4 months, you have got no income again. Then you have to struggle again from number 1, looking for a job again. And if the one you go and get is again the same.
Yes.
So it's the whole problem what he's saying.
It's a whole cycle of short-term jobs, small amount of money, then insecurity because you don't have you can't guarantee the income coming in.
No income.
Yeah. This is my house. This my door. Yeah, this is my house. Yeah. Every day the people are stealing.
Yeah. Stealing stuff from you?
Yeah. If I get the food, they steal.
Yeah. So if you want to cook, sometimes you use that plastic bag on top of the roof. You need to cut out some dustbins. You use some tires just to cook. And you know, it's poisonous. So there is just, sometimes we use boxes to cook. And not all of us has got pots. Sometimes we would use canes. Life here is really not easy. No. It isn't easy at all. He looks for his food in the dustbin.
That's right, in the dustbins.
And that food is already poisoned. It's got poison. We hardly have water. We've got prepaid cards. If you don't recharge your card, you don't have water. There's no way you can tell your child you need to wash your hands to avoid some germs.
If you are staying in dirty place, hepatitis is number 1 now in DRC.
The kids would come back from school, they would play here, and then they would get a sweet pick up, and then they would just eat it. So this is part of the problem.
Thank you so much for showing us everything. I really appreciate your time to come and tell me your stories as well, and tell me your situation, and allowing us to come and see how you live. I really hope things improve for you in one way or another. It's kind of overwhelming. It's kind of like depression. It's just sad, and it's like the government does do stuff, but they're in such a spiral that they can't see their way out of it.
Leaving the DRC behind with a heavy heart, Kate pushes southwards. She relishes a few miles of open tarmac road because she knows what lies ahead. This second phase of the journey always loomed as the toughest physical challenge. South of Walvis Bay, there are no tracks whatsoever for 320 miles, just a harsh, barren sea of sand. 35 miles to the south, Kate must cycle around Sandwich Harbour, a coastal wetland and conservation area that is internationally recognized for its diverse and abundant bird life. The team is joined by John, a regional specialist, to help Kate navigate this section of the journey.
Yeah, so you think I should try and go around the edge?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah?
So up over that steep bit and then it'll be better?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to be doing is try to get up that slope there, and then apparently, I believe on the other side it might be a little better, so it's worth a try.
Pushing the bike over the sand ridge is not easy. The dunes roll on to the horizon. Spanning the next 300 miles is the Namib Sand Sea, a seemingly impenetrable barrier of shifting dunes. Being able to traverse it by bike is a great unknown. But there's only one way to find out if it's even possible.
It comes right around and it continues all the way up there, and there's a spit going across most of the way to protect it, so it's very calm. Around the edges of the little bays, it's probably going to be pretty muddy. I should be able to find a better surface, I think.
The team decides that following the convoluted coastal route is not an option. As usual, Kate sets off before the team. She follows a pair of vehicle tracks over the dunes and into the mighty Namib Sand Sea. For over 50 million years, the high, windswept dunes have served as the Namib's fortress, keeping out all but the most resilient of explorers. This inhospitable environment destroys all that is weak and vulnerable. Only the best adapted survive.
So it's been an incredible morning so far, going along through the dunes, trying to get towards the beach, cutting off a big peninsula of Sandwich Harbour. I was asked to set off early and suggested that I follow some four-wheel drive tracks.
Kate has learned that in these hostile conditions, the unexpected is the norm.
All the vehicle tracks just blown away. So I lost the tracks.
As Kate struggles to navigate through the dunes, the team is looking for her, but she is nowhere to be seen. The wind has erased her tracks. Even the master trackers cannot find her. Anxiety sets in both for Kate and the team. It becomes apparent they cannot find each other. The scale and intensity of the desert are testing. Losing your team here is life-threatening.
We seem to have lost Kate. She tried to save some time by cycling over the dunes instead of around the cape. We saw her tracks a little earlier, but now they've disappeared into the dunes. There.
I thought I was cutting across an angle, essentially across the dunes, and to follow the vehicle tracks. Well, pretty quickly I lost the vehicle tracks. So I just kept thinking I saw some more tracks, so I kept following those. But anyway, and I thought they would catch me much sooner, because I'd done about 12 kilometers by the time I found them.
Reunited with the team, there is another immediate problem Kate has to deal with.
Problem is, so the rubber thing has come off. Sand is now getting into here, and that is slitting that. It's torn there, is it? It's not fully on yet. That'll spin off, actually. So we need to just... So if you push this, and I'll turn this.
Okay.
It's a bit of a design fault in the early bikes that Steve made, and it's just... You've got this universal joint, and it comes in at a certain angle with this shaft. That means that that rubber socket in the past is split straight away within the first day. Then sand is sort of flicking, little grains of sand flicking into the, and that's filled with grease in there. So the last thing I want is that.
It is a relief to get back to the ocean where navigation is simple. The incident has been a wake-up call for the crew. In an environment like this, mistakes can be costly. Exhausted by the scouring winds and burning rays, Kate pushes south. In September 1909, while delivering supplies to diamond miners at Conception Bay, the Eduard Bohien ran aground on a sandbank several hundred meters offshore in heavy fog. Despite valiant attempts to lighten its load and tow the steamship off the sandbank, she was doomed. As the vessel erodes to dust, it is now only home to jackals. Today, the Eduard Bohien lies about 500 meters from the beach. Its location is a stark reminder that Namibia's coastline is constantly changing. The afternoons are particularly tough. The sun beats down, the wind strengthens, and as the tide comes in, Kate is forced to cycle for hours on the soft, rippling sandbanks.
Thank you. We've got a huge floodplain now that I'm cycling across. See, this is all wet, so some of the waves are coming right up now, right over the edge and spilling out. Tide will cover all the way here right up to the sand dunes. So we have to get around this bit this evening, otherwise we'll be swamped.
So we are afraid that if we come here, we might definitely get water. But then we cannot transverse through the path. No. It's very, very deep. Quicksand there.
Yeah.
According to John, the distance is very far still from here to get to the end of the path. So that's why I'm saying we are stuck. The only option was, if possible, to load the bike and drive to the end of the path.
Come back to that exact spot.
You know, high tide is at 6:30 and it's already 6 o'clock now. Water is still doing fine, but what is when it's 6:30? Is it gonna be very worse than this? Does it change so much in 30 minutes? So what do you say?
So we can't camp here?
It depends on how wet you want to become.
We just don't know whether it'll come or not. But as long as we get the main stuff up, like our tents in the morning, then we could probably do it.
Okay.
What do you think?
Let's give it a try.
There's no point driving 30 k's up and back, and I'm not going to miss 30 kilometres in a continuous line. I'll have to stand up for that. This afternoon was really tough. The team disappeared for about 2 hours. I didn't know where they were. Very unusual, starting to get very worried. And I didn't have any food left. And I had basically no water by the time we reunited. I'd cycled for at least, 2 hours in the red zone. I was exhausted. And so when Ilago sort of explained that we couldn't camp actually where we are now, I was, firstly I was really fearful, because I thought, actually, I don't want to break the line of my journey. I'm sure I've made the right decision. Time for some sleep.
Next time, Kate is pushed to her limit as she battles some of the highest sand dunes on Earth.
It's all about energy management.
Enters the forbidden area that's been locked to outsiders for over a century. And discovers Namibia's most mysterious town as she nears the end of her journey.
Oryx, always so skittish. In Arrangement, they just live on the streets.